Hi guys, today we're making a prime rib, and I know that sounds fancy and expensive, but in this case it wasn't. In these hard times, we were able to find a 4-pound prime rib for $25. So we cut it in half and we made 2 meals out of it. So let's get started. So we're gonna be making a prime rib. We're first gonna cut right along the bone, just to be able to get the seasoning right in between too. You're not gonna cut all the way, just right along towards the edge, and then from here we're going to season it. It's been sitting in room temperature for about 2 hours, and we're going to start with some butter. And you're going to have the butter and just start rubbing it in with the temperature of your meat, and your hands is going to start melting. And this is for making sure that the seasoning sticks to it, and it also gives it a nice little charcoal color when it's in the oven. So we're going to make sure we rub it all around. And I like to have the foil paper too if you're using your own Pyrex, just because it helps it to not get it so dirty, easy to clean. I'm gonna open right along the bone. And we're gonna season here too, so make sure you rub the butter really good. You want to make sure you get it really good all around the edges too. The bottom of the bone, if you guys are going to be eating the bone too. Then we're going to flip it to the side. Start smashing this. Go to the other side. Okay, now that it's being all covered in butter, we're gonna go into our seasoning. Okay, so we're gonna start with our seasoning, and I like to keep it simple. I use garlic, salt, and pepper. Some people like to use garlic cloves, and I love garlic cloves, but in this case, I don't want to take away the flavor of the meat. Now we're gonna season, and we're going to, it's a preference too, how much salt, but you want to make sure it's salty enough because all the flavor is going to be around the edges of the beef. So we just want to sprinkle all the garlic salt everywhere, and the bone too. So for those that enjoy the fat and the bone, it's going to be very tasty, and that's me. And now we're just gonna sprinkle the pepper. I'm not big on the pepper, so I put it lightly around. I don't like it to be too overbearing, because some pepper could be very overbearing, very strong on their flavor. Making sure that it's everywhere. A little bit on the bone here too. And now we're gonna just let it sit at room temperature for a couple hours, probably all day because this is gonna be our dinner. So I'll see you guys later. The way I cook my prime rib is I use a formula. I use the weight of the cut times 5. In my case, is at 2.5 pounds times 5. That's gonna be 12.5 minutes. If you like it a little more rare, you're gonna round it down to 12, or you could round it up to 13 if you like it a little more medium. In my case, I'm gonna round it down to 12 minutes. From here, we're gonna set up the oven temperature, which is gonna be at 500 degrees. You're going to let the oven hit at that temperature and then let it sit for an additional of 30 minutes. You want the oven to be really hot before you place your meat. Now that our oven has been at 500 degrees for 30 minutes, we're going to set our timer at 12 minutes. Then we're going to place our meat uncovered in the oven, close the door right away, and start the timer. From here, you do not want to open the door for any reason. After the timer is done, you want to make sure that you turn off the oven, but do not open the door. You want to make sure you keep the door closed at all times, because that is part of the cooking. The heat is going to continue to cook the meat while after it has been turned off after the timer. So you're going to be able to open the door once the oven is at room temperature. So you want to be able to place your hand and have it at room temperature. Right now it's too hot, I can't touch it. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I'm setting up the timer at 12 minutes. I do not press start yet. I'm gonna open the oven, place my meat, make sure it's in the middle of the rack. I'm gonna close and start.